Hello, my name is Tonyah Dee, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. And today I'm going to be talking about basic nutrition for 2020. And basic nutrition really hasn't changed in the last 30 years that I've been teaching it. So I think it's something everyone should know. So let's get started. Basic nutrition is about studying the study of what our body needs in order to live. So what our body needs in order to live are 6 essential nutrients. 6. They are protein, carbohydrate, fat, vitamins, minerals, and water. These 6 things are essential for our life and our health. If we cut out carbohydrate, we're going to have a problem. If we cut out fat, we're going to have a problem. If we cut out protein, we're going to have a problem. If we cut out vitamins, we're going to have a problem. If we cut out water, we're going to have an issue. So there are 3 what are called macronutrients. They are protein, carbohydrate, and fat. There's 2 micronutrients, meaning they're small, vitamins and minerals, and then there's water. So once again, we have to have these 6 things coming into our body in order to sustain life. Now, I'm going to go through each one and I'll explain what foods are found, where they are found, and what these things do. So protein primarily is for growth and repair. Growth and repair. Build and repair. Protein builds our muscle, it repairs our muscle, it repairs our wound. So protein's very, very important. And the best source of protein is found in lean animal meats, like any of the fish, poultry, chicken and turkey, anything that's a bird, beef, anything that comes from a cow, pork, anything that comes from a pig, animal meat. Those are our best sources of protein. Eggs are a good source of protein, but the protein's only found in the egg white, and each egg white is 1 ounce of protein. It's recommended that we get about 4 to 8 ounces of protein a day. This is really a difficult thing to say, like in general to people, but in general, 4 to 8 ounces of protein is what is recommended. If you're a woman, it could be 4. If you're a man, it's 8. The size of my hand, I have kind of a small hand. It looks a bit like a chicken breast. That's about 5 or 6 ounces. So we need somewhere between 4 to 8 ounces of protein a day. Now the vegetarian sources of protein, the best sources of vegetarian protein are found in what are called legumes, beans, peas, and lentils. These are plant-based. And there's a lot of variety in here: pinto beans, black beans, navy beans, kidney beans, all the different kinds of lentils and dal, legumes is this category of food. So 1 cup of legumes is 2 to 3 ounces of protein. So if you had a bean soup and it had 1 cup of protein, that would probably be 1 good serving for your day, and then you'd want at least another serving of legumes that day. So that's protein. This is where protein is found. The second macronutrient is carbohydrate. And carbohydrates are our body's main source of energy. So our brain loves to function off of carbohydrate. That's when we're tired. We're kind of naturally reach towards a carbohydrate to give us energy. The other thing found in the carbohydrate group is fiber. And fiber is so important. Fiber is a material that's goes throughout our body, and it really cleanses us. So whether it's a fiber that moves through our intestine like a broom, or through our bloodstream, there's two different types of fiber. The fiber really is so important to good health. So it's recommended to have 25 to 40 grams of fiber a day. So we get our carbohydrates mainly from whole grains. Now the word whole here is added because so many of our grains out there in the world are processed. So that means we take a grain and we make it into something else. So that is not whole anymore. That's a processed grain or a refined grain. And where you find the fiber is in the whole grain. It's a grain that hasn't lost its fiber. So whole grains, the best grains that are, you can see it's a grain, it's intact, are oats, quinoa, brown rice, wild rice, amaranth, and millet. So these are whole grains, still intact. These have the fiber, they have the carbohydrate. Now, wheat, barley, and rye are also grains, but mainly come, especially wheat, in a processed state. So processed wheat is in the form of white flour or wheat flour, and the products made from white and wheat flour, whether it's wheat bread or white bread, pasta, cakes, cookies, processed wheat is not one of the things that we're really looking for when we're talking about fiber. The processed wheat products and couscous and bulgur, these wheat products will have the energy, but they won't have the fiber. So fiber also helps to slow down digestion. So when a food has fiber in it, your stomach has to break apart the fiber from the carbohydrate, so energy tends to be released slowly over a period of time. So the products with fiber are really good for sustained energy levels and for satiety, keeping you full longer. So the other food groups' main sources of carbohydrate are all of the vegetables and all of the fruits. So your main sources of carbohydrates are whole grains, vegetables, and fruits. And once again, the vegetables and fruits shouldn't be overly processed or it loses the fiber in it. So another great thing about the carbohydrates is this is where a lot of our prebiotics are found, and if any of the vegetables are fermented, that will be where the probiotics are found. So the prebiotics and probiotics, those are essential for the health of our gut. Basically what these are, prebiotics are the foods that our gut bacteria eat, and the probiotics are the healthy bacteria that's found in our gut. So we're actually needing to be conscious of feeding the bacteria in our gut what it needs, so those bacteria can maintain a very healthy equilibrium, and this has a lot to do with overall health. So carbohydrates, you find prebiotics mainly in your vegetables. So anyway, that's the second macronutrient, is carbohydrate. The third one is fats. Fats have so many functions in our body. Every cell has a lining of fat around its barrier to maintain that cell integrity. So fats protect a lot of things, protect our organs, protect our cells. Most of the hormones in our body are fats. We can use fat as stored energy. We can use fat as energy. So fats are very important to get in our diet. The main sources of fats are nuts and seeds. The best sources of fats, nuts and seeds, and the products made from nuts and seeds. So we have oils, butters, and now we have milks. So we have walnuts, pecans, cashews, almonds, sunflower seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds, and then we have walnut oil I like to put in my smoothies in the morning. We have almond butter, we have sunflower seed butter, we have hemp milk, we have almond milk, oat milk. The new milks are fantastic, very, very healthy. So the nuts and seeds are our main source of fat, plus also good sources of fat include coconut, olives, avocado, chocolate, and especially dark chocolate. So anyway, nuts and seeds, very important to get your fats in your diet. Okay, so vitamins, the main place where vitamins are found is actually in your fruits and vegetables. So vitamins and minerals, the best source of the most, where you'll find the most vitamins and minerals, will be in your fruits and vegetables. So that's where you get vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are little teeny substances that regulate almost all of our body processes. If something's happening in your body, chances are there's a vitamin or mineral that's helping that process to happen. So vitamins and minerals regulate, transport, and process almost all the reactions in our bodies needs vitamins and minerals. So the sixth essential nutrient is water. And water is so important for transportation. All of these things have to go throughout our body, and water is transporting all of the things to the right places, and then water's also picking up the things that are toxic or that our body doesn't really need anymore, and taking it out of our body. So water is just something that we have to have constantly coming in, and flushing us, detoxing us, transporting things. Water is involved in almost all the reactions that are going on in our body, in and out of our cells. And water is important for the balance of our temperature and just maintaining what's called homeostasis, which is again kind of like a harmony between everything, a balance between everything. So make sure you get plenty of water. So basically these are where you find these things, but we have a couple, one in particular other group of food that's very well known, and it's dairy products. So dairy products come from a cow, and they include milk, cheese, ice cream, butter, yogurt, and almost all of these products come in non-fat, low-fat, or regular fat, except for butter. So the fat found in dairy, it's not really recommended to get a lot of animal fat in our diet, and that would come from, like, that's why this is here, lean animal protein, not the high-fat animal protein. And the lower fat dairy products, those would be recommended over the higher fat dairy products. Those higher fat things that come from an animal just need to have a minimum amount of those things in your diet. So just real quickly, yogurt and kefir are good sources of probiotics. So we're always trying to think about keeping our gut happy. So our little bacteria in our gut have to be happy. So dairy, another thing about dairy is you want to make sure that you get hormone-free and organic. For the most part, vegetables and fruits, you definitely want to get organic or rinse them. Just make sure that they're clean, you know where they're coming from. That's another good idea. Let's talk about beverages. Water, herbal teas are also a good source of water. And I personally love herbal teas. I'm drinking them kind of all the time. The herbal teas are peppermint, licorice root, chicory, chamomile. The list goes on and on. Flowers and herbs that are dried out and added to water that have a little bit of a medicinal quality in our body, and you can make iced tea or you can drink it hot. So good sources of water are herb tea and mineral water. Coconut water is very, very healthy. It does have carbohydrate in it, and you need to make sure there's not a lot of added sugar. When it comes to caffeine, we're talking about beverages now, it's recommended to have about 300 milligrams of caffeine a day. That's 2 cups of coffee, 4 cups of black tea, 6 cups of green tea. White tea has very little caffeine in it, so white tea tends to be closer to a good water source. Another really good beverage to drink is kombucha, and kombucha is another good source of a probiotic. It's a fermented product. So all the herbs and spices are allowed, are good for you. The things that really, this is basic nutrition. And this is really, ideally, you want to try to make sure these things are as least processed as possible, because the way they were grown from the sun, and if we can just eat them right like that, unprocessed as much as possible, we're going to get the most nutrition out of it. When man steps in and takes one of these things and processes it and makes it into another product, it might be very tasty, but it always diminishes the nutritional value of whatever you're eating. So try to go low in processed, refined junk food and artificial sweeteners, which that brings up a good point. Sweeteners. The best sweeteners out there are honey, raw honey, and honey is interesting. It comes in a lot of different flavors depending on what the bee has used to make the honey. It's orange, macadamia. There's so many different types of honey, and I like some different honey in my tea versus coffee. So honey is kind of a fun thing to experiment with. Maple syrup's a natural product, and so is stevia. Those are the healthiest sweeteners out there. So this is basic nutrition. Nutrition, again, is meant for life and growth and repairs. And if we get the right nutrition in our body, then our body is really able to fight off disease and maintain nice, healthy levels of energy. And this is ideally what we're going for from our nutrition, so that for the most part, we're really healthy. And then if we do eat the processed foods or the junk food, our body is amazing and can process that through our body and eliminate it. So the idea is eat more foods that are healthy and life-sustaining so that your body can then handle those foods that aren't so healthy, and you still get to enjoy a wide variety of food. Which, that's the second thing I just want to talk about is, as a dietitian, I have a lot of people that ask me, what diet do you follow? And I always tell them that I'm an abundance-tarian. So just me personally, I don't have any medical issues. If you do have a medical issue and you have to follow a specific diet, that's completely a different ballgame. But for the generally, I believe that all foods are available for our consumption, no matter what it is. So I do believe in eating things primarily plant-based, things that are grown from the sun, sourced from the sun, plants, nuts, legumes, seeds, herbs, grains, vegetables, fruits. These things really sustain life. The animals eat these things, and we eat the animals or we don't. But basically, these are the things that can sustain life. And so primarily eating from here is what I believe to be the healthiest way to go. Then I do believe there is dangerous almost and not necessary to label our food as good, bad, right, or wrong. If we take a food and we label it bad, let's say, I don't know, there's no bad food, but let's say you do, in your mind, you think that this certain food is bad, then when you eat that food, somehow your thoughts will say, I'm bad. And that's actually probably worse than eating the food itself, is to label yourself, label the food, I'm bad. There's no good, bad, right, or wrong. There is healthier foods, there are healing foods, there are junk foods, there are foods that possibly can hurt your body, so you don't want to eat a bunch of those things. There's foods that are just not so healthy or nutritional, but in the right amounts, everything is available for us to eat. And the idea of deprivation is there's a lot of diets that are very depriving, and I really don't believe in these fad diets. I think the statistics are something like 68% of people who go on a fad diet end up gaining more weight after that diet's over. So what we're aiming for is a consistent level of energy that can sustain whatever we need to do in life. There's different body types. There's no good, bad, right, or wrong body type. It's how do you feel? Are you healthy? Deprivation through a diet has a mindset of sort of lack and scarcity, deficient, deprived. That sort of feeling and thinking really doesn't feel good to us. On some level, we know that we're here for an abundant life, and we can have abundance. Plenty, the words that go with abundant are thriving, plenty, wealthy, enriched, sufficient, and satisfied. So it's important that go ahead and figure out what your favorite foods are. What are your favorite proteins? What are your favorite carbohydrates? What are your favorite fats? Get those foods in your diet all the time. Like, what are the healthy ones there? And then what are your favorite not so healthy foods? And try to get those in your diet as well, so that, in a smaller amount. So you see, you got your big favorite healthy foods and your favorite not so healthy foods, and you're balancing them out. And this way you feel more satisfied in life. You'll have fewer cravings, hopefully, and you'll feel good about just the fact that you're allowing yourself to live an abundant life and loving your body however it looks, because it's healthy. Okay, the last thing I just wanted to talk about, like when you're following a lifestyle, is what's your motivation for following that lifestyle? It could be that you need more energy, or your sleep is off, or you do have some sort of an illness and it's time to follow a healthy lifestyle. It's important to know your motivation, or at least think about it every now and then, so that when you are making choices, you'll be able to tell yourself, oh, my motivation right now between why I'm going to make the choice that I'm going to make is because, say, my motivation is I really want to be my best self, because I really want to pursue the dreams in my life. So do know what your motivation to follow any sort of your lifestyle. Hopefully it's just because you want to choose life, and don't make it too complicated. I feel pretty sorry for the general public. This diet, that diet. I've been around for all of the diets. I've been a dietitian for 30 years. So anyway, just don't take it too seriously. You need to take your health seriously, but not crazy seriously. You want to remember that nutrition is here for us so that we can enjoy our lives. So anyway, thank you very much for listening. I hope this was helpful. And again, my name is Tonyah Dee, and I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and my company is Ya Light.